we have valid statements, and then we have invalid statements. So you have valid statements, valid statements. These statements help to calm down the customer when the customer feels very upset. They are called valid statements, and then we have invalid statements. Now, I want us, we'll go into our breakout session now. I want breakout room 1 to discuss and bring out at least minimum of 5 valid statements that we can use to manage difficult customer interactions. Breakout room 1, please take notes. You're going to discuss and bring out minimum of 5 valid statements that we can use to manage customer interaction, especially difficult customer interaction. When a customer comes to complain or is very upset or angry, 5 valid statements we can use to manage the customer and bring the customer down again to cooling points. That's for breakout room 1. And then breakout room 2, you have to bring 5 invalid statements that we should avoid using. Minimum of 5 invalid statements that we should avoid using in our customer service interactions. Are we clear on that? Okay, so I'm going to take you now to the breakout room sessions right away. So the breakout room sessions right away. Okay, I've lost control of the something. Okay, Amaka, Chiamaka, do you still have hosting rights?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so please put us in 2 breakout room sessions. Breakout room 1, breakout room 2. Breakout room 1, you discuss minimum of 5 valid statements to use in customer service interactions. And breakout room 2, discuss minimum of 5 invalid statements to avoid in breakout interactions with customers. So please, let's have these breakout rooms. We are 27, it's large. It's a large number, but just have them into 13, and let's discuss. So please put us in breakout rooms and let us discuss. We are waiting. We are waiting. Wow, these ones are all unassigned. Okay, let me assign. Breakout. I will assign here now. So I'm sending you to your breakout rooms. Please join them as you see in your phone. Okay, so please join your breakout rooms. Oyetunde, please join breakout room 1. You are in breakout room 1. Stephen, you are in breakout room 1. Please join. Okay, Stephen, Oyetunde, please join. You are in breakout room 1. Click on breakout room 1, please, and join. Cletus, Ekele, please join breakout room 1. You are in breakout room 1. You are in breakout room 1. Please join. Miriam, please join breakout room 2. Mercy, please join breakout room 2. Cletus, where are you?
I'm here, sir.
Why didn't you join up? Okay, I'll assign you now to a class now. Okay, I'll assign you to room 1. So click on room 1.
Okay, sir.
Click on room 1.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Something like that. Tosan, anything?
Hello,
Adigun?
Charles.
Yes, Mercy.
I think if the client is on the phone,
Okay.
we should also avoid, when they are really angry, we should avoid telling them that I'll terminate this call if you keep shouting, something like that. Like
Okay.
threatening them that you
Don't
terminate
threaten.
call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Maybe we are sticking to only for those 4 people.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Tosan, I'm here.
Okay, so I think everybody has said most of what I would like to say, like telling customers something is not possible. I think that really gets them to react. And then something is not our fault. Maybe someone says, I'm not getting an alert, and you say, it's not our fault. You don't really know. It's not our fault. The customer at that time doesn't really like hearing those kind of things. That's just my additional contribution.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Miriam, are you with us? Miriam, front management.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, I'm here.
What should we be telling our customers? What should we be telling our customers? All right, no problem. At least we have about 8 points now.
Hi, I just remembered one. We shouldn't be telling customers it's company policy.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back, everyone, from your breakout sessions. Okay, so let's get straight to business. Breakout room 1. Want to share with us what are the 5 minimum of 5 value statements we should use in our customer service interactions, especially when you want to calm down and upset on angry for customer. So breakout room 1, the floor is yours.
Okay. This is Chamaka. We listed 5 statements that we can use to manage an irate customer. And the first one is we sincerely apologize for your experience. I totally understand how you feel. How can I be of help? You're right. Thank you for bringing this to our notice. This will be resolved. These are the statements we can use to manage an irate customer.
Okay, 3. You go to the 3 from your team.
No, it's actually 6 items,
Okay.
6 statements.
Okay, so please.
Should I run over it again?
Yes.
Okay, the first one is, we sincerely apologize for your experience.
Okay.
That's 1. 2, I totally understand how you feel.
Okay.
How can I be of help? 3.
Okay.
You're right. That's 4. 5, thank you for bringing this to our notice. Then lastly, this will be resolved.
Okay. Okay, that one that says you are right. What does that mean? It's neither here nor there. You are right. So it means what to the customer?
Okay, there are times customers' complaints are actually on it's our fault, the company's fault. So just to calm them down, you tell them that they are right and this will be resolved.
Okay, better.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Breakout room 1.
Thank you, sir.
Breakout room 2. Let's hear you. Let's hear from you. What are the invalid statements we should avoid? We should avoid the customer service. Yes. Cletus,
Okay,
welcome.
Sir, please reconnect. My network went off. Reconnect me back so that I can join the.
No, don't worry. We're about to don't worry. Stay where you are. We're about to the main class.
Sir?
We are back to the main class. We are back to the main class. Yes.
All right, sir.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
The network is very poor.
Yeah, Charles. Okay, thank you.
All right, sir.
Yes.
1, you don't tell a client to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't tell a client that it is not my responsibility.
Good.
You don't tell a client it's not possible.
Mm.
You don't tell a client I can't help you right now.
Mm.
You don't tell a client you don't know.
Mm.
You should also not, you should be sure of the feedback you're giving back to the client.
Okay.
You don't tell a client he's wrong, he or she is wrong.
Okay.
You don't threaten a client way into the discussion.
Okay.
And you don't say it's company policy.
Good. Thank you. All right, that's wonderful. Those are invalid statements we should avoid using in our customer service interactions. That's very good. Thank you. Now, I want to seek your opinion. Should I just go straight to the class, finish everything by 3 o'clock, and then we close, or give you 1 hour break, and then come back again and finish by 5? What do you think?
Let's
Let's go straight to
10
the
minutes.
class.
And finish everything by 3?
Class.
By 3, fine. Okay, that's interesting. Good.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Are you enjoying the class at all? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be
Yes,
sure.
sir.
Yes, Chief. Yes,
Okay.
Chief.
Okay, interesting. Yes, that's what I want to hear. Yes, Chief. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on with the class. We are still looking at how to manage difficult customer situations. So let's see ways we can manage difficult customer situations at work. Okay, ways we can manage difficult customer situations at work. That's what I want to do now. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you on that. Okay, ways we can manage difficult customer situations. That's where we are now. Professional ways to manage difficult customer situations. All right, so upon completing this segment, you will be able to understand the importance of feelings in dealing with challenging customers. And then you're able to demonstrate what we call the diffuse. The diffuse is similar to the ASAP, the ASAP you watched on the video. It's similar. You demonstrate the diffuse steps to manage irate customers. And then you determine when and how to respond with empathy. In addition to that, you'll be able to determine when and how to use open-ended and close-ended questions. And then you exhibit what we call the AIR skills, the AIR skills in managing various challenging customer types. So let's go straight to what we have here. Now, this is research-based, so it's based on statistics. It says a little hole drains the hole. A little hole drains the hole. When organizations lose customers, they do so due to many reasons. 1, death. 1%, maybe 1% of the customer dies. 3% of the customers transit to other places. 4%, they hop to other places. 5%, they get referrals from others. 9%, they patronize cheap substitutes of your products and services. 10% are chronic complainants. No matter what you do, you can't satisfy them. Chronic complainants. No matter what you do, you can't satisfy them. But what is most striking and most shocking in these statistics is the next slide. This is a staggering reality that I want you to see. Do you know that most of all, 68% of customers go elsewhere because the service providers they deal with are indifferent to their needs? Wow, this is very staggering. Not so? 68% of customers go elsewhere because the service providers are indifferent to their needs. So, the customer is the reason why you are in investment one. Not so? No customer, no investment one. No customer, no points in Nigeria. True of us. You are my customers. You are the reason why I'm in points. If you're not there, there's no points. The same way, if you don't have customers, there's no investment one. So your job is that of the customer, and your job exists because of the customer. So if you don't treat them right, someone else will. Unless, of course, if what you are doing at investment one is a monopoly and nobody else does it. Unless if nobody else is competing with you in investment one. Is that true? You don't have competitors? Hello?
We do.
You do, many of you.
A lot.
Many.
Many. Even my own industry too. My own industry too. Training. We have plenty plus plenty plus plentier plus plenteous competitors. There are many. So I say, unless you don't have anybody competing with you, then you don't care about how you treat customers. Unless that, I say, unless you are able, or you may be able to compete on factors other than customer care. Example, price or facade. So, but since that's not the case, it means that we must learn to treat customers right all the time. I said before, unless you are a monopoly, only you is offering that services in the whole Nigeria. Unless that, okay? Or you are a so strong genius that your products and services are in great demand and nobody else is in position to imitate them, unless that. But if all of these I've just mentioned don't apply to you, please, we can listen to Asha after the class. For the guys, when you go to the corner after the class, you can play Asha there. Okay. All right. So, who says quality is quality? Is it you or the customer? Who says or who determines what is quality? Is it you, investment one, or your customers?
Our customer.
Your customers determine what is quality. Quality is what your customer says it is, not what you say it is. It's not based on your internal guidelines that indicate that customers are satisfied. Quality is defined by the customer. So let's look at 6 steps we can use to diffuse an irate customer. From the video you watched, the telephone scene, those lady that was throwing some things on a man. How do you diffuse such customers? Let's look at 6 ways you can diffuse them. The 6 ways can collapse into the 4 you watched earlier in the ASAP technique. But let's look at these 6 ways, okay, to diffuse an irate customer. The first one is D. D means don't lose your cool. Please, let's pay attention here. D means don't lose your cool. D stands for don't lose your cool. Don't take things personally. Instead, listen, take the notes, and then stay committed to the complaint the customer is presenting before you. So the first one is D, don't take it personal. Don't lose your cool. And then E is encourage venting. You know, I drew that anger graph earlier, not so? Encourage customers to vent. Please avoid interrupting them when they are venting. Just listen, don't interrupt, but give your verbal nods, give your facial expression to show that you are concerned about what the customer is presenting or complaining about. So encourage customer to vent. And what does the F stand for? F is focus on customers' feelings. Focus on their feelings. Use empathy. Apologize blamelessly on behalf of investment one. And then offer to help. Focus on feelings. Now, we have to come back again to empathy. In the morning, when we discussed self-awareness, we talked about empathy. We said empathy is a major part of customer service. And then if you are unable to empathize with customers, you can't serve customers well. So let's look at a few definitions of empathy. Okay, empathy from the dictionary, American Heritage says, identification with and understanding. Identification with and then understanding of another's situations, feelings, and motives. So empathy means that you must identify and then understand your customers' situations, feelings, and motives. So what are the tips you can use to empathize? What tips can we use to empathize? What tips? Okay. When a customer is exhibiting or showing a strong emotion, please manage your emotions at that point. You know, I started the class with self-awareness. And I said one of the components of emotional intelligence is you being able to manage your emotions. So when a customer is showing strong emotions, please manage your emotions. Be sure that your tone of voice is calm and understanding. Show genuine concern for that customer feelings or emotions. Okay. What does the U stand for? U means you must uncover the facts. How do you uncover the facts? You ask questions. Okay. You ask questions to fill in the gap. Ask relevant questions to get more information about what the customer is going through. Okay. And then what does the S stand for? The S means that you must suggest a solution. Okay. Don't make excuses for the problem. Don't say it's not our fault. It's company policy. Customers don't care about your policy. Okay. Keep the customer involved in the process of suggesting a solution. Let them know what you intend to do to solve the problem. That is the S. And then the E is end positively by checking. End positively by checking. Make sure that the customer understands the action plan you want to take to solve the problem. And then thank that customer, okay, for coming to complain. Because a customer comes to complain is your friend. He likes you and wants you to progress. Many will just walk away and go and tell as many people as care to know how bad your services are. So you must have a script that you can use to manage this, and then a script on how you can say thank you to the customer for making the complaint. That's the E, and positively by checking. So these 6 steps, we can condense them. These 6 steps we just talked about now, there are a few steps, 6, we can condense them into three steps to make it easier. Okay, we call it the air, A-I-R. Air it out. Air it out by A, acknowledging customers. The customer has human feelings. You must acknowledge that you are dealing with customers and you also want to manage their feelings. And then the I is inquiry. Inquire about the problem and feelings of the customer. And then the R is respond to the issues and feelings of your customers. Acknowledging, inquiring, and then responding to the issues and feelings of your customers. Okay, now let us discuss quickly. What are the kind of customers you deal with regularly? What are the different kind of customers you have regularly at work? Yes? Solis, what kind of customers do you meet on a regular basis? Types of customers you meet? Yes? Solis? Solis? Hello, Solis? Yeah, Joshua? Joshua, what are the types of customers you meet regularly? Hello, am I still having a class? Or
irate customers.
Irate customers. Okay, thank you, Afolabi. Yes, they are irate. We know. What are the types of irate customers do we have? What are the types of challenging customers do we have? Mary. Mary. Has my class gone to
sometimes sleep? Angry customers.
Good. Angry customers, yes. Okay. AB, right? Yes. Mention one type of customer you deal with regularly. AB, right?
Disgruntled customers.
Disgruntled customers. Thank you. Stephen.
Confused customers.
Confused customers. Thank you. Miriam.
Mad customers.
Mad customer. Okay. Mr. Bond. Different kind of customers you relate with regularly. Mr. Bond. Yes. Okay, so let's see them here. We have one, the chatty customer. A chatty customer. Who is a chatty customer? When it comes to meet you, either on telephone or face-to-face, he wants to chat about how he traveled to US, how he bought chocolates in Chicago, and from there, how he traveled to Houston, how he met one white lady in Houston, and the lady was very nice to him, how he went to hotel, things that don't relate to why he came to you. They can be on telephone or face-to-face. And of course, you know you are busy. You have other customers to attend to. This chatty customer will not allow you time to attend to other customers who need to be attended to. But don't forget that even though if it's a target customer, you still need to understand that the call is expedient and then he has an issue. That's why he has called you. So what do? You keep the customer focused on why he called you by using close-ended questions. So you must know when to use close-ended questions and know when to use open-ended questions. For a customer who is chatty, just go straight by asking close-ended questions. So, okay, sir, thank you very much for welcome back from Germany. So may I know what the issue is, sir? How may I help you? Okay, you have a problem. Is it with your account? Use close-ended questions so you bring the customer back to reason for calling you. Do's for managing hard to understand customer. The customer was very hard to understand. You inquire if anybody else is within your space that can talk to the customer. And then you do so slowly and clearly, especially the customer who doesn't understand maybe English or doesn't understand the language that you're speaking. Okay, so you want to get somebody who understands the language or somebody who understands what the customer, who will understand what the customer actually really needs. Okay, so you paraphrase, you ask questions, you paraphrase to get an understanding of what the customer really wants. Now, what are the don'ts for managing a hard to understand customer? What are the don'ts? Please, especially if it's a customer who probably is a Fulani man or something, or someone you don't understand his language is speaking to you, please don't mimic the person. Don't mimic his accent. Okay? Don't use broken or slang, unless, of course, the person doesn't understand English at all. Then you can use broken language. You can use pidgin English. You can use you can find somebody who understands the person's language to discuss with the person. That is fine. Okay, but don't talk louder than the person, so it doesn't appear as if you are shouting down on that customer. Okay, don't inquire if they speak English. If you understand and see that they don't speak English, don't ask, do you speak English? You can see clearly from the person's appearance and the person that maybe the person is, you know that he can't speak English. Don't just ask and say, do you speak English? You want to ask what language the person speaks. And if you don't understand language, please find somebody in the bank, okay, or in the hall or in the office who understand the language to speak and interpret on your behalf. Okay, so you can understand what the customer really needs. Somebody mentioned the confused customer. He's often confused. He doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't know what kind of investment plan to even take. He doesn't know what kind of insurance to even take. He's not even sure. He's confused. Okay. So what do? You don't use technical language to explain what you have to this customer because he's already confused. So if you use technical language or what we call technical jargon, you will confuse him the more. So you use simple and clear language. Use simple and clear language and be patient with the customer. Okay, ask questions so that you can get him off the confused state. And you may want to suggest to the customer, okay, options and alternatives that he can decide to go with. And then we have the chronic complainer. He's always complaining, always complaining, always complaining. What do? Okay, learn to listen actively to a customer who's always complaining. Listen actively. Paraphrase, but resist the temptation to apologize. Okay, focus on what the problem is. Focus on an action plan on how to resolve that chronic complainer. That's very important. Okay, not about the aggressive customer, the bully. Allow him how to vent. Yes, please.
Sorry, your last slide, the slide before this, you said no, yes. The one you were talking about try to resist apology.
Yes.
Or I was thinking in the order the ASAP said if part of it is apologize.
Now this one is an aggressive customer, a bully. He's not just there to complain, it's aggressive. Maybe he wants to even hit you with something. He wants to stone you with something in your office.
Oh, okay. And with that, you still don't need to apologize to the client.
At that point, when the customer is very aggressive, okay, what do you need to do? Allow him how to vent first.
Okay.
Allow him to vent, because if when the customer is aggressive and is shouting, if you start saying we are sorry, we apologize, the anger will increase.
Okay.
So allow him to vent. At the point where it's now cooling off, say, okay, so what do I do now? So what's the way out now? At that point, it's cooling off. You now apologize. Okay. You apologize. but don't apologize at the point when it's venting. Allow him to vent. But please make sure you maintain good eye contact. Make sure you maintain a good tone of voice, a good body posture to show that you are concerned about the customer's feelings. But allow him to vent before you now apologize.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then
Hello,
we know,
sir.
yes, please.
Sorry, sir. The point was raised under the chronic complainer. You
Yes.
should resist the temptation to apologize, not the other one.
Oh, okay, fine. It's the same thing. For someone who's always complaining, you have done all you can to satisfy the customer. You have referred the customer to a superior officer. You have referred him to even your MD. The customer is still very dissatisfied. We come again tomorrow and complain about the same thing. Come again next tomorrow, complain about the same thing. No matter what you do, it's always complaining. What do? You resist the temptation to always keep apologizing. He comes today, complain, you apologize. Tomorrow again, come again, you apologize. So for someone who's always complaining, no matter what you do, is full of complaint. Just focus on an action plan on how you're going to resolve that complaint. Focus on the action plan. Listen more to the customer and paraphrase to show that you understand the main points of what he wants you to do. But don't apologize repeatedly to this customer. Just have an action plan and then focus on action plan and let him know that you're going to focus on the action plan to resolve his complaint. Because you can come again tomorrow again and still complain on the same issues. So such customers, you have to manage them diplomatically. Okay? Always have an action plan on how to manage the situation, what to do to resolve the chronic complainer. But resist the temptation to always apologize. He comes today, you apologize. The same customer comes again tomorrow to complain about the same thing he came for yesterday, you apologize. No, you avoid that temptation.
Okay, hello, sir.
Yes.
Oh, well, let me give an instance in this. Okay, the nature of the job is it has to do with funds and it has to do with interest rates.
Yes.
In fact, let me use one of my clients. Anytime his investment is maturing, my heart begins to skip.
Okay.
Because I know ordinarily, just like we said earlier on, we have a lot of competitors. You have been with me for over 4 or 5 years, and you are now talking, which I know anytime your investment matures, you're asking for rates, which is way higher than what, like 3-4% higher than what we offer.
Yes.
And I know if I take it to my bosses, I have an idea of what they would want to give. In such instance, and the guy begins to threaten he's going to move his funds. At that point, which he does virtually every 6 months or every year. If I have an action plan and he's still threatening, what should I do? Because most times, just as you said, if you have an action plan, this is what you need to do. Should I allow him? It's just, that's the question now. Although it's not, I'm not supposed to allow him. The action plan now I'm talking about.
Yeah. Now you have an action plan.
Action plan, yes.
And
sir.
then the action plan is not working to resolve the complaint.
Yes, sir.
The action plan is not working to resolve the complaint.
Yes, sir.
Please, the first step is to refer. Can you please mute? You're not speaking. The first step is to refer that customer to a higher authority. Okay. The higher authority will be in a position to manage that kind of regular chronic complaining customer. So if that one says, okay, if you don't mind, sir, can I please take you to my manager? So let's look at how we can resolve this issue of fluctuating interest rates. So you've already briefed your manager about what the issue is. Manager is more experienced, we know how to manage that kind of customer. And then we're going to explain in a more professional way about the interest rate fluctuation, okay? And then making accept the rate that is currently prevailing at the time of the matured investment. So that is what you can do. Now, you refer him to a senior officer, to your manager, and he's still not satisfied. You refer him to a senior person who is more senior to that manager, is still not satisfied. Then you just stick to an action plan, okay, on how you can satisfy that customer. Maybe you want to make some compromise, but you see it's difficult. If you make a compromise today, it will force you to make another compromise again tomorrow, and that will be going against the standard procedures on how to transact that kind of customer. So it's just to look forward to manage him by referring to someone who is higher than you, who will have more tact, and more diplomacy in handling him. There are ways you can say no to a customer will leave there feeling very happy. Okay, so that should also be as part of your action plan. Action plan 1, if my own action plan fails, what's action plan 2? Refer to higher authority who can manage it better, because customers feel more comfortable discussing with somebody who's higher up in the system. Okay, and then most times they're willing to listen to that person than just listen to somebody who's in the front line office who they feel that can't satisfy them or meet their demands. So that's all this would, yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm taking you back. In this instance now, and let's say my line manager is now saying, okay, he cannot talk to the client right now, but he's going for a meeting, and your chronic complaining customer needs an answer, say in about 5-10 minutes, which you know your line manager. Can I jump and talk to somebody else? Because sometimes the question is, have you spoken to the other person before you bring in the matter to me?
Now, your line manager should understand that his number 1 priority is the customer, okay, before any internal meeting. So if the customer is there and is still complaining, and then you refer him to the line manager and tell, oh, please don't bring him here, I'm busy now, I'm going for a meeting, shows that the line manager, I'm sorry, is not doing his job as he should. The line manager should be able to entertain the customer and then explain better to the customer why the investment is the way it is. If that also fails, if the manager has a senior boss too, he can also refer that person to the senior boss to manage the situation as well. Yes, Adenike, your answer, yes.
Yes, sir. I don't think that, I mean, the line manager has all the answers. It might not also be that, the case might not be that this person has an internal meeting. It could be an external meeting, a scheduled meeting also.
Okay.
There are other senior persons or senior colleagues in the office that this person can refer the situation or the person to, and it will be that. I understand from even some of our colleagues. I think the last training we held with your organization, there was a situation, this kind of situation, and somebody said, hey, for me, what I do is I call a colleague. They don't even necessarily call a senior colleague, because this client does not know who the senior colleague is or the junior colleague is. So they call some of their own, colleague who looks a bit more, they just go in, call somebody, explain the situation to them. And, in some cases, the client just wants to see another person. Whether it's senior, whether it's junior, this client does not know. But all they want is their issues to be resolved.
Yeah.
So just make sure, call somebody else, explain the situation, listen attentively to the clients, let them vent, let them, and then try and look for, because you even have the solution. It's not as if you don't have the solution. It's just that the client is at that moment is very troubled or whatever. They don't just want to see you at that instance. They want somebody else. So
yeah, that is okay. Thank you very much for that contribution.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
I think the situation is different. An angry customer is different from a customer who has a better rate from somewhere else.
Yes.
I'm offering, for example, 10%.
Okay.
He's telling me he's getting 14% somewhere else. And then probably the compromise I can reach is 11%.
Yeah.
This guy always have places to compare my rates.
Yes.
I mean, he's a serious trouble customer. I have one like that. What I do is most times a month before the maturity, we'll have start discussing.
Okay.
And anything I see around rates, whether in the media or anywhere, I just send to him so that he's informed ahead of time.
Okay. Okay, you see, that's a good one, Joshua. That's a good way to manage the customer. That's part of your customer action plan. So you can put that in your action plan. It's okay.
Like yesterday, I saw in the media that some agri-tech people are losing their money to them.
Yeah.
About 3 names mentioned specifically on Nairametric. I sent it to him.
Good.
So that places you are trying to use to compare me, see what can happen.
Good.
Safety
Good.
of fun.
Good. Thank you very much, Joshua, for this contribution. Now, you see, Ekechi, I will also call you. You see, it means that from what you just said, you need to arm yourself with information to be able to manage a chronic customer. So you have information about different rates from your competitors handy. Okay. So when he's speaking, you can verify if what he's saying is true or what he's saying is untrue. Okay. And then, as you said, you give them information ahead of time before the maturity date. So they are kept abreast of the fluctuating interest rates, and then height will also impact on their own investment at the maturity of that investment. So that's also part of your action plan. You see, customer action plan. And instead of always apologizing all the time, yeah, sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Just focus on that action plan to manage this chronic customer. That's what you are saying. Okay, Nkechi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Nkechi. Good afternoon.
Another way to manage a chronic complainer, a customer like that, is in as much as you have line manager to complain to, you can as well ask your colleagues in other branches to know if they have had similar cases of such complaints from their customers and how they resolve it. So you can actually get such ideas from there and resolve that problem before going to your line manager. If that one did not work, you can now go to your line manager or any other person around so as to solve the customer's complaint, because it's a customer and they will always complain. Like you said, if you keep telling the customer sorry anytime the customer comes, it shows that you are not serious. You are about to lose that customer. And it shows incompetency that you people are not actually serious, because the next shop, they are still dealing the same thing.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kechi, for that contribution. Yeah, so we have had very good input from the class on how we can manage this chronic complainer. However, all of this should be factored into your customer action plan. And then when the customer comes, you just follow the action plan from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 until you're able to manage that customer. That is how to do it. It's a difficult job, but it's doable. Okay, so we mentioned about the aggressive customer or the bully. What about the know-it-all customer? I know it all. I'll give you my experience about this. Well, not from my experience, where how I used to relate to people in the bank. I think I spent over 10 years or so, 14 years in the banking sector before I left. And shortly after I left banking sector in 2005, each time I went to the bank, in 2005, 2006, I was still fresh with banking ideas in my head. And I always expected the banking cashier or frontline officer to be up and doing. And then I was wanting to show them that I spent 15 years or 14 years in the bank, and I know this job you're doing. I remember I used to tell the cashier in the bank, I said, where were you when I was a cashier in 1992, 93? I was a cashier, where were you? Primary school. What do you know? So when they saw that I was this difficult customer, we always went to show that I knew banking. Each time I came to the banking hall, they would say, senior banker, Chualisa. Senior banker, Chualisa. Say, sir, come and tell us now, your experience in the bank. How was it that time? Was it this difficult? And how will I manage this type of situation? And I would not start lecturing them. I felt cool that they acknowledged that I was an experienced old banker. Because at that point, I was a know-it-all customer. Because I was just fresh from the bank. And I still had all the knowledge of the banking in my head at that time, but not anymore. So when you meet a know-it-all customer, go straight down to business. Okay? You too must arm yourself with enough knowledge of your product and services. You too on your own end must arm yourself with enough knowledge of your product and services. However, do one thing for this know-it-all customer. Allow this customer to express their expertise to you. Don't worry, listen now. And oh, wonderful. That's nice to know, sir. Oh, really, sir? I would like to learn from you more, sir. Oh, really? Wow. When you acknowledge their expertise, you are aware of your expertise, you're able to manage them that way. But at the same time, be armed with enough knowledge of your own product and services, so that when you speak from the point of view of knowledge. In that way, you can manage the know-it-all kind of a customer. What about the silent customer? I call them the brick wall. Okay, they don't feel compelled to fill in the silence. They don't, they're just there. When they come, they're just silent. What do you want? What, they don't complain, they don't say anything. Okay, so when you see that a customer, don't begin to throw words into their mouth. Okay, you want to do investment banking on agriculture. Okay, you want to do investment banking in real estate. No, don't fill in the gap for them. Okay, encourage them by asking open-ended questions. Don't forget, for the chatty customers, those who like to talk, reduce their chatty nature by using close-ended questions. For this customer who's very silent, don't fill in the gap for them. Use open-ended questions to draw out information, to draw out feelings to draw their feelings for what exactly they need or they want. But you have to be patient in the process of using the open-ended questions. Okay, so now that you feel more equipped to manage challenging customer situations, I believe that when I check on you a few months from now, I will see a better and improved customer handling technique in managing and handling difficult customer situations in investment one. I believe so. Unless that, if that does happen, then I've wasted my time and wasted your time being on this call today. So please tell me, do you feel more equipped now to manage challenging customer situations? Do you feel more equipped now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you feel more equipped?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you for your responses. That's good to know. All right, so that is all I have for this session on managing challenging customer situations. Any questions? Any further questions? Thank you very much for your inputs, and especially in discussing that chronic customer, because it's very challenging really managing a chronic complainer. It's very challenging, but there are ways to manage them. You just stick to your action plan, and then you cascade it from one level to the next level. But I like what one of you said, that you arm yourself with enough information about the fluctuations in the exchange rate, and then you inform the customer ahead of time before its maturity date, so it doesn't come in with complaints the day of maturity. Those were very useful contributions. And then other ones were that, oh, you can also call your colleagues. It doesn't have to be your senior colleague, okay, who can also join in to help you manage that chronic complaining customer. So these are very useful inputs. Please let's apply them in various offices in managing the customers. Okay, so any other questions? Any other questions or comments? Yeah, any other questions or comments? Any other questions or comments? We are going to the very last class, the very last session now. Yeah, okay, Perpetua. Yes.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
You said something about when a client is angry, not to say your company policy or your organizational.
Sorry.
Can you hear me, sir?
No, I didn't get that. Please say again. Please.
What are you
please,
doing my book?
Chiamaka, please mute yourself. Chiamaka, please mute. Chiamaka, please mute.
This is not your pillow.
Chiamaka, please mute yourself. You are the club governor. Please mute yourself. Thank you. Yeah, Perpetua, please go ahead.
Okay. So when you said not to tell a client it's company policy or
yes.
this is how things are done. So I've had this issue with a particular client is used to like withdrawing money and getting it within a particular time frame.
Yes.
And then it was reversed or it was changed by the company. And we've been having this glitch where every time he wants to withdraw money and I tell him, oh, sir, it will take a longer time. He's always angry. And then I've had this with less like 2-3 clients. So there's the thin line of trying to explain that, oh, company policy has changed, but at the same time, you don't want them to be angry. So I've been having that issue. So I don't know if you could help me with like the best response whenever because a lot of clients have been having that issue for like a while now.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Perpetua. One major thing I find many companies don't do is when there's a change in policy or a change in your policy, we don't inform our clients through writing. When there's a fluctuation in exchange rates, we don't inform them through writing so that they are aware. We change these policies and keep it to ourselves. When they now come, we apply it, and then they get angry and say they are unaware. So when there's a policy change, it's always good to inform your client through writing ahead of time. Okay, so that they are aware of the policy change, and how it can also affect their business. We don't wait until when they come in, and then we now say, oh, because of this policy change from CBN or so and so, we can't do that. So if there's a policy change from CBN, for example, or there's a policy change from your regulatory body, please always inform our clients ahead of time of this policy change from our regulatory body through writing. Okay, so that they are aware about the policy change, and then they are also preparing their minds on what to expect at the expiration of their tenure, or at when they want to withdraw money, or they want to make an exchange rate, or whatever it is. That's one way to do it, to manage an aggressive customer. Another way is when the customer is very aggressive, as I said earlier, allow them to vent. Let them vent out their frustration. But please keep your cool, maintain your emotions, keep your cool, and listen. Okay, show them that you are interested in their feelings. Okay, and then you apologize and say, okay, we apologize that we didn't inform you ahead of time about this. However, this is the way we won't say that this is a policy now because you have informed them ahead of time, but they're just coming. It's okay. These are a few changes that has occurred. So this is the new rates or so and so. You explain to the customer why there's a change in the way its withdrawal goes or its transfer goes, so he understands. Okay, but you allow them to vent first before you begin to apologize, and then you're willing to help. Okay, and then you tell them what you will do to ensure that you manage the situation better. It's a very difficult task. I can guarantee you. The video we watched, it's not easy if you are a customer service representative and you have to manage difficult customer situations. It's a very difficult task, I must assure you. But we must put our minds to it first to understand that we shouldn't take it personally. It's all in the day's job. And then we should always focus on the problem or the issue, not on the personality of the customer. In that way, we're able to manage whatever type of customer that we are dealing with in the course of our duties and responsibilities at work. I don't know if that answers your question, Perpetua.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so as I said, we'll close exactly 3 o'clock. We have one more thing to do, and that should be like a kind of assessment. I want you to assess your conflict style. What style of conflict do you use at work? Where do you fall? I want us to assess that quickly, and then we take the last class for today, and then take your post-test. Take your post-test.
Do you understand? That's what that guy is preaching again. That you should not make all your life that is prayer. Why you can do something and ask God to do that.
Okay, that's very true. It's not only prayer. We must also let to take action too. All right, so let's see it. Let me see if I have it here. I thought I opened it just now. Okay. Yeah, just a minute. Let me open up that. Okay, I need to stop this recording.